Namaste. In this video, we are going to speak more about firms and LLPs. They both are treated alike by our income tax law. There are amendments. Before going into the amendment, let me make one thing clear to you. There is no new tax regime or default tax regime available for a firm or LLP, because for individuals there is 115 BAC, for companies BAA and BAB are there, but for firm, interestingly, there is nothing like that. Is it an advantageous situation? Well, I won't say so, because there is already something known as an alternative tax mechanism under section 115 JC. What benefits do you think a firm can claim? In the deductions, they can claim the income-oriented deductions like 80I to some 80QQB or RRB, not even so much. Anyhow, in that the major thing being 80JJAA, which a firm can claim. 80G is one of the deductions which they can claim. But when we go to the alternative tax regime, this 80I gets slashed, 80JJAA gets slashed. So they will be asked to pay a minimum tax of 18.5%. It is better to introduce a new tax regime for the firm as well as LLP at the earliest. Probably the next Finance Act or the new Finance Code might bring it also. Now coming to the amendments that are applicable. The first thing is the salary. It has been very stagnant for a very long time, and that has been revised up to the book profits. Book profits are computed, which we will see in our classrooms also. For those who are just listening, book profits are computed as per income tax law. The profits after disallowing certain items which are specified and allowing certain depreciations as per IT law. On the book profit, so far it was up to 3 lakhs, 90% or 1,50,000, whichever is higher. More than 3 lakhs if the book profits are there. On the balance 60%, this gets revised. On the first 6 lakhs, 90% or 3 lakhs, whichever is higher, and on the balance 60%. That is a change. Whenever there is a change, if you are a student watching it, be sure that there is all possibility that the questions are going to come from there. But having made this change, the sword was placed right over the head of the firms by introducing section 194D. Now, tax has to be deducted at source for any payment made by a firm to the partner, be it interest, salary, commission, or whatsoever. Tax needs to be deducted at source, which was not previously there. Where exactly is the problem going to come? Majority of the time, the remuneration is determined after the books of accounts are closed, audited, because at that time only book profit will be known. Based upon that, remuneration will be fixed. The rest will be considered as drawings or it will be adjusted. Now, tax has to be deducted either at the time of credit, which is going to happen on 31st March. Even though the books of accounts are closed in July, August, September, the entry date is going to be 31st March. So tax has to be deducted either at the time of payment or credit, whichever is earlier. Suppose I am withdrawing a salary of 1 lakh every month. I am not sure whether the entire 1 lakh is going to be allowed, because my book profit can be determined only after the year end is. Now I am withdrawing that 1 lakh as salary. So payment. I am not withdrawing. Or I consider it as drawings from my profits, from my capital account. At the end of the year, after the books of accounts are completed and the remuneration is determined, by that time, the period for paying the tax would have got over, because tax has to be paid, at least even if I take March 31st, it has to be paid before April 30th, and the returns has to be filed before May 31st. Now, if I am going to delay, then I have to pay additional interest, which is also going to be applicable. So, Practically, this is a tricky situation. Academically, this is an interesting situation, how the questions are going to come, and the responsibility of the firm is going to be higher. And a small tax planning element can also go into whether the partner should take it as a remuneration or drawings and consider the remaining, because imagine in an example I gave you, I take 1 lakh as salary and 12 lakhs I would have deducted tax at source at 10%, but at the end of the year I understand that my salary can only be 9 lakhs. I would have deducted tax at a higher rate or at a higher amount. How this can be adjusted or how this has to be understood, what way we can plan, all these things in our classroom, which will make it more interesting academically as well as practically. For May and November 25 CA final examination, classes begin from September 2nd, 2024. Classes are both on physical as well as on live online mode. Get ready for the classroom sessions where all nuances of taxes, including the amendments, will be discussed. Meet you in the classroom.